feeding your mind here as well as feeding your pocketbook. So if anyone here on the line tonight knows the power of words and of affirmations, I have one here for you tonight. I want you to write this down. Here's a great affirmation that I say. I play full out with the expectation that my success is inevitable. But we can take it to another level. I play full out with a burning desire and with the expectation that my success is inevitable. Well, what does playing full out mean? Guys, with Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, we want you to hold nothing back. Give it all that you've got, and then have that burning desire. We know that a burning desire is the launching pad for all great achievement. So let that desire for greatness be like what I call fire shut up in your bones. Like you're like, man, I don't want to be average and ordinary. I just got to be somebody. Have that burning desire. And then expectation. Well, in life, we normally get what we expect. That's how life is. We normally get what we expect out of life. So I want you to expect for things to go your way. Expect for things to work out in your favor. Expect for your success to be inevitable. And so we have some gentlemen on the line tonight who are leading us down that road of success. The first one I'm going to bring on, of course, you guys know him very well. He's been doing all of the opportunity calls. He's been leading these corporate update calls. He's all over the internet. Man, he's just a great, great guy. He comes from humble beginnings. You know his story's gone on to build multiple seven-figure businesses and make a seven-figure income. And I'm telling you guys, his heart is as good as gold. I'm telling you, he is just such a person who wants to see everyone win. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the awesome T. Lamont Silver. T. Lamont, it's all yours.
Well, thank you so much, Ayabumi Moore. I certainly appreciate that great introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, you really don't want to hear from me tonight as much as you want to hear from our visionary leader. We've got a phenomenal vision, but a vision needs a visionary leader. And you got a chance to hear thousands of folks came through the process of having 3 webinars on last Thursday night. He is hard at work leading us as we lead the revenue sharing revolution. So let's bring on our visionary leader and president of Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, Mr. J. Joshua Beisel. Good day, Mr. Beisel. Mr. President, how are you doing, sir?
T. Lamont, I am doing absolutely fantastic. If I was doing any better at this point, I'd have to have an entire group of people just to keep up. We are seeing record growth. People are literally getting fired up and excited. I think Boomy was talking about a little bit earlier. I mean, there are so many people out here right now, T. Lamont, that are all in. They are ready to go, and they see the vision. They're part of the movement. They're helping create the movement. And T. Lamont, this is just absolutely fantastic. I know we've got some big announcements here on tonight's call, so I'll let you lead out. And it's going to be a great call here tonight, folks.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have pad and pen in hand, or you are maybe sitting in front of your computer and you're typing out with us. We will put notes up here on our whiteboard, and this is an amazing audience. Folks from all over the place. I see folks here from Cambodia. I'm seeing folks from Canada, folks from Germany. This is absolutely amazing. All right, President Beisel, let's talk about what's happening next week. There is a presidential meet and greet. Could you tell us about that, sir?
Absolutely. So starting this next week, March 6th and March 7th, both days, we're going to have a presidential meet and greet where you are invited to fly out, bring your team, drive out. We've already got folks that have been asking for the specific dates. I think a couple of people are taking a bus, some people are taking a van, some people are flying. Nobody on a helicopter yet, so if you want to make a splash, that would be fantastic. I'm pretty sure our parking lot right out in front of our facilities would be able to handle that, T. Lamont. That would be pretty awesome. But folks, we want to invite you to come out and have an opportunity opportunity to meet with me face to face, to talk about the vision, to talk about all the exciting things that we're doing here with Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, and to really begin to brainstorm and mastermind on your business and your organization. Now, normally companies open this up exclusively to leaders, and they keep it kind of on the hush-hush. This next week, March 6th and 7th, starting at 12 o'clock local time to me, which is Phoenix, Arizona time, running till about 4 each day, you're going to have an opportunity to come in, meet with me, see some of the facilities here that I work with in one of my companies, get an opportunity to meet some of the team that help me in what I accomplish. And one of the things I'm really excited about, though, that we're doing very different here at Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, is I'm actually inviting anyone who would like to fly out or like to drive out to meet with me either of those days. And the reason why I'm not restricting this just to leaders, Tilamon, is because part of the vision that we have here at Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, is that we want to be a company that creates leaders. We're not just a company that is made up of leaders and then, you know, Joe and Susie average. We are a company that is dedicated to the success of Joe and Susie average. We are dedicated to helping them become leaders. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're part of the movement here with Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, you are invited out this next March 6th or March 7th. Now, here's the thing. You could come for both days. You could just come on the 6th. You could just come on the 7th. But we've got some special instructions, T. Lamont. I'll let you share on how people should actually register for that or let us know that they're coming or RSVP here. What would you recommend?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we want you to do, we want you to go into your back office and we want you to submit a support ticket. This way we don't run the risk of you sending an email and an email getting lost or getting sent to spam. I want you to send a support ticket through the support ticketing system. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have no idea how many folks are going to show up. So this is very important for head counting purposes. We're expecting to have it at one location. However, if we have more people than what we were planning on, we may need to go to another location. So this helps the company in planning if we need to have a change of venue. So I want you to issue a support ticket in your back office, and in your support ticket, in the subject line, we want you to put in the subject line, presidential meet and greet. Presidential meet and greet. And in that ticket, what we want you to do is we want you to list your name, your username, your phone number, and let us know how many will be in your party. For instance, if we're a husband-wife team, okay, T. Lamont's coming, my wife is coming, Karen. Let's say, so T. Lamont and Karen, so that corporate knows, okay, that's two. Now, if you are loading up a car, I've heard of folks that are saying, hey, you know, we live just a few hours away from there, so we're going to load up a car, we're going to load up a van or what have you. So it might be other folks, maybe not your significant other, but maybe a business partner or someone that you know that's in the business. Then we would ask all of you to send in your own tickets, okay? Send in your own tickets. Luna's coming, Nim's coming, Marlene's coming, so on and so forth. If you're coming with a significant other, let us know that. If you're coming as a part of the party, let every part of the party know that we would like for them to send a support ticket. Again, those dates, again, will be next Wednesday and next Thursday. That's March the 6th and the 7th. You can come one day, the 6th. You can come one day, the 7th. Oh, let's do that also. When you're doing your name, username, phone number, how many will be in your party, let us know which of those dates you plan to attend. Which dates, which day or days, because you may choose to attend both, which day or days you plan to attend. And again, that will help us. The sooner we have that information, the sooner that corporate can say and connect with folks and say, okay, all right, we may have to change venue or so on and so forth. Anything else I need to share there, Mr. President?
No, I think for announcement number one, that is it. What I can tell you, folks, is that I truly believe that networking is a human activity, and it's great to build online. It's great to have the opportunity to join webinars and to join calls, but any of you that have the opportunity to come out and meet with me face to face and shake my hand and break bread together, I truly believe that networking is all about people helping people. So I just want to let you know, folks, you're very, very welcome. I would encourage you to come out if you can, and I would love to have the opportunity to meet with you. And I'll also say this, that a lot of you leaders out there really want to pay close attention to this, and those of you that are soon to become leaders need to pay close attention to this, that this is part of creating your story. Now, those of you that may not be able to, I know we're going to get a lot of people say, hey, I'm in another country, there's no way I can get there in that short of notice. We understand, don't worry. We're going to be having company events and functions well into the future that you're going to be able to attend. But if you can, and you're 50-50 sitting on the fence, I would encourage you to get off the fence, get on a plane, come out here, meet with me, shake my hand, and get to know who I am, my caliber, my integrity, the vision I have for this company, and most importantly, the vision that I have for each and every one of you. This is going to be a big part in helping you create your story as you set the pace, as you lead out as a top person with Jubi Rev, Jubi Max. So people are watching. This is your opportunity to begin to set the stage for your organization, and I encourage you to do so. So I think that's it for this first announcement. But folks, let me tell you, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Mr. President, yes, can I interrupt you? I do apologize, sir. Yep. Quite a few questions were coming in related to this. If we could, and I did just post this, people were asking what's the address, where's it going to be, hotels and things of that nature. Am I safe in saying this is why we want folks to go on and get those support tickets in so we can get a handle on the numbers, because that could have a bearing on where the function will be. We've got a place now, but if we don't feel like we're going to be able to accommodate that, we may need to change venue. Am I safe in saying that, sir?
Absolutely. And for those of you that that don't know, I am the co-founder of the world's largest independent networking, network marketing, and MLM agent call center here in Phoenix, Arizona, actually a suburb called Mesa, Arizona. And so as part of this, we're kind of thinking that folks that are coming out to meet with me may want to have a tour of our enterprise here and kind of get a feel for some of the resources and some of the real power behind what is happening in the Jubi Rev, Jubi Max movement. However, again, as you said, depending on the amount of people that RSVP through the support desk, we may need to move offsite just to be able to make sure everybody is comfortably set in and we can have a great time.
Okay. And so once again, before we go on, again, let me show this. Wednesday, March the 6th, Thursday, March the 7th, same time each day, 12 p.m. local time there in Phoenix. 12 p.m. local time there in Phoenix. And again, you can always use the time and date calculator. If you go in your back office and click on the calendar, any of the functions back there have a time and date link there if you need to convert what does that mean in your time so that you are booking your airfare if you're flying in, so on and so forth. Wednesday, March the 6th, Thursday, March the 7th, you can choose to come to one. Maybe you're just going to come on the 6th. Maybe you're just going to come on the 7th. If you want to come through the 6th and the 7th, more power to you. Feel free to do so. Once again, this is not just for the top enrollers. You know, maybe you haven't enrolled anyone just yet, but you're seeing it and you want to catch the vision. Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to seeing you there. And yours truly will also be there with the president. Though you guys don't want to see me, you want to see the president. Yes, sir. You ready for the next announcement?
I absolutely am, but before we do that, while I've got everybody's attention here, I just want to congratulate everyone. For those of you who might have missed this past Thursday's presidential address, it was my very first opportunity to come out and actually share with everyone a little bit about my history, a little bit about my humble beginnings and the journey that has led me pretty much from the cotton fields to where we are today. And it was just such an awesome event. For those of you that missed it, I hope we can find a way to get a recording up there. But I wanted to say thank you, T. Lamont, to everyone who participated, because I left that call last Thursday with a special call to action to get everybody to really activate, to get out and share. And we have seen amazing growth continue day after day. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the field for that. No doubt Jubi Rev, Jubi Max is a movement, folks, and it is moving. It is a force, and it is very, very exciting. So you are all at the right place at the right time. But let's jump in here to announcement number 2. And this, folks, should be one of the most exciting announcements that I'm going to get the privilege to share for at least the next few weeks. And then we have some even bigger announcements, which will be even more fun. But this is going to be on my top 10 list, I think, for a very long time, T. Lamont. And that is, drum roll please, that this coming Thursday we are having 2 very special calls that all of you are invited to. All of your team is invited, and those of you out, when you should all be out, continuing to share the amazing message that we have here with Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, and continuing to build your team. You'll want to make sure that every single person on your team is coming out to one of our 2 calls scheduled for this Thursday, because this Thursday, which is February 28th, I believe, at 2 different times that we have here, we have 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and we have 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And those 2 calls, on those 2 calls, we will actually be, this is it, we will be having our kickoff party for phase 2. Now, T. Lamont, you have been sharing the 3 different phases of development that we are going through here with Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, and we have been in what we call pre-registration now for almost 30 days. And we have done a tremendous job, tens and tens and tens of thousands of people piling into the back office. We've broken every record I'd ever heard of, and the ball is just getting started. But this Thursday, T. Lamont, we will actually be kicking off phase 2. What does that mean? That means, folks, you will be able to log into your back office to fund your account and begin to make package purchases. And that also means those of you who are out building, you're going to be able to make sure your team is on that call, because we're going to help them walk through and fund their account and begin to make package purchases as well. So very, very exciting. T. Lamont, it has been a long 3 or 4 weeks, and yet at the same time it's been so rewarding and so energizing. But this is just actually the beginning, folks, because starting this Thursday we will officially move in to phase 2 of the Jubi Rev, Jubi Max movement. So that's very, very exciting. Now, T. Lamont, let me ask you this. After I kind of did a sneak drop of an announcement here this past Thursday, and I kind of mentioned something, and
yes, you open up a can of worms, and through emails and Skypes and Facebook and what have you, the world's wanting to know.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you know, the reality of it is it was weighing heavy on my mind, because, you know, we can only, folks, we can only do so many of these, and there's nothing I can do about that at this late stage in the game, because quite frankly we knew this would be big, but everyone is out promoting so well. There are so many people. Bottom line is this, folks, there are going to be a limited number of founding members positions that we are going to be talking about. I will not tell you what that is today, but I will be making those announcements on our giant phase 2 kickoff party, which will happen not once but twice this coming Thursday. One, again, will be here at noon Eastern Standard Time, and the other will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this coming Thursday, the 28th of February 2013. So, folks, you're going to want to make sure that you get registered for one of those webinars, and you will absolutely want to make sure that you get all of your team registered and get them committed to going, because this kickoff is going to be huge, number one. Number two, we have a limited number of founding members positions, and this is where it gets even more exciting. T. Lamont, I know this is what everybody is salivating over right now. We have some amazing founding members bonuses that we are going to be announcing. So not just founding member position, but an actual special promotion that you who are here, who are joining us at the very beginning of this movement, are going to be richly rewarded. We're very, very excited about that. That's going to be being announced. And Tilamon, I know that we've got a couple of other announcements here, but I wanted to break and see if you had some questions coming up about any of those announcements that I can answer for.
Okay. All right. Real quickly, let me see here. All right. Again, I think this question was answered. Someone was asking about the meet. There's your time. Wednesday, Thursday, March 6th and 7th. Same time, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. local time. That answers one of those questions. Got a lot of people excited, so I'm trying to get through all the excitement, the Yahoos. Hotel recommendations. Again, I think we posted this here. That's the purpose of getting the tickets. If there's enough folks coming in from out of the area that will need hotels, may be able to get block hotels. That's one of the reasons why it's important to send those tickets. Personally, I'll probably stay at close to the airport, because the airport is only about 20 minutes from the location that we're thinking. If
15 to 20 minutes, yes. And
15 to 20 minutes?
Yeah, we're going to stay in that area no matter what, to keep it convenient for everybody coming in.
Okay. All right. So the Phase 2 kickoff party, we go into Phase 2, the pre-launch, purchases of packages. We're even going to start to see commissions and all that good stuff as well. Let's see here. Oh, will there be any presentations if someone maybe lives in that Phoenix area? Maybe they want to bring some folks with them. Will there be any type of presentations at the meet and greet event?
You know, it is absolutely possible that we could do that. Typically, a presentation in home, in person, or at a hotel is typically about 30 to 45 minutes. You don't want to overwhelm people. So we have talked about that. If enough of the people coming would like to set a time to do a live presentation one of those nights or both, I am certainly open to that idea. What I will tell you is, especially for those of you who, again, leaders or leaders in training, if you have people on your team who maybe are like, okay, I'm interested, I would go out there and I would meet with these people and I would see if they're who I'm looking to build with and work with and align myself with, I can tell you that that entire 4 or 5 hour time that they spend with us will be about the best possible presentation anybody's going to get. But if you just have some local prospects, maybe new to the entrepreneurial, home-based business arena, that type of thing, and they're looking for a more succinct presentation, hey, if we got enough people, I would love to do it. This is a vision that is so much fun to share, because everyone gets their share, T. Lamont, and that's what makes this so awesome. So I would love that opportunity. Now, if we just have 1 or 2 prospects, we may be better served to, just spend our time right now focusing on those of you who are flying in. But again, absolutely, if you've got prospects in the area and we got enough people put together, I would love that opportunity.
Okay. Now, we're talking now about Phase 2. Did you want to talk about
Thursday? Another minute. Do not delay. Come in and fund their account so they have the ability to make product package purchases. Now, there are going to be several ways to do that. I'll list them quickly here. if you're out here and you're listening to this webinar live or via recording and you already have a solid TrustPay account that maybe is funded, maybe you've been a promoter or an affiliate elsewhere, you already have some earnings over there in solid TrustPay, and you would like to transfer some of that money and load your account so that you can make some product purchases here, you may do so. If you're a Payza member, you will also have that exact same opportunity. We will also have bank wire information, and we will also have, and this is very important, we will also have the opportunity for you to load funds directly up to your Jubi account. And so we're going to talk about that here in just a moment as well. Now, the Jubi account card, folks, is very, very unique. It gives you the ability to both fund your account to make product purchases here, but it also gives you the ability to get paid on this. So that Jubi account card is something that we definitely recommend. It is one of the easiest, fastest, best ways you could possibly get to get your commissions. And so we're going to, here in a little while, T. Lamont, log into the back office there and see if we can't show good folks where they can go to actually purchase their Jubi account card. It is a $12.95 one-time pay, I believe. The rest of the details will be in the account, but it's $12.95 today to get access to that card. And for those of you who are going to be purchasing that, I'll just tell you right now, it takes a couple of days for that account to get up and get created. So you may want to go ahead and purchase that today, just to minimize any wait time down the road. I know that, T. Lamont, this system is coming along very well, and we're at the stage now where the technology is all coming together, and sometimes that does take just a couple of days here and there. But when you log into your back office here, folks, here's what you're going to want to do. And of course, at some point, we may actually have an easy link once you log in. But for those of you who would like to do it while we're right here on the webinar, I want you to log into your JubiMax.com back office. Once logged in, over to the left, you will see a little tab that says My Account. And when you click on it, it will expand downward, showing some additional options. The one you're going to want to click on there under My Account is My Financials. So My Account, My Financials. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be prompted to actually put in some information here. If you haven't already selected a security question, you're going to have to select a security question and answer. And then you're also going to have to, if you've already done that, you're going to actually have to put in your PIN number. Now, some of you have asked questions about what seems to be a lot of security on the site, and I'm very pleased to tell you that we have we have the very best software development team in place that you could ever imagine. At last count, there's about 33 people actually working on this right now, and that is just a tremendous amount of people. I've never seen so many people working on one system at the same time, and it is just absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of them, and I'm so grateful for their tireless, relentless pursuit of excellence, folks. But once you've gone here to My Account, My Financials, then you're going to click on over here where it says eCash. I want you to click on where it says eCash. So again, My Account, My Financials, then click on eCash. And the second tab right over here says Jubi Account. All you'll need to do is click on Jubi Account, and then you will see the instructions. Now, please be careful to use the correct spelling of your name, and please put in all correct information. Remember, this is not an opt-in form on the web, folks. This is your actual financial connection to commissions, bonuses. This is very important that you put in the information correctly. If you have any issues, do not hesitate to use the support tab and actually put that in. Again, this Jubi account card, $12 and I believe $12.95, $12.99, one of those two, and you'll receive a lot of information and details right over here on the left of that you can read that we don't have time to cover on this. But again, folks, those of you who are prepared for big things, you should have this. Even if, I'm going to say this, even if you will be funding your account to make product package purchases using a solid TrustPay account, a Payza account, etc., I still highly recommend folks, that you get to your Jubi account card, and I know that's going to be a lot of fun for folks, and we're very, very excited to have that on board. And I recommend that everybody actually go ahead and get that $12.95. So, T. Lamont, I know we covered quite a lot there in just a few moments, so I want to again pause to make sure that we don't have any unanswered questions out there.
Okay. Can I give a couple of testimonies here, because we've been testing
Absolutely.
some of these loading features. The Solid Trust Pay was tested today and made on a test server, made a purchase straight from my Solid Trust Pay. It went straight into the company was able to see it. They were able to see all of the pass-through information that they need to see there. Just waiting for a couple little things on the Payza for that to happen. So we anticipate that Thursday, Solid Trust Pay and Payza could be automatically integrated. So when you make your purchase on Solid Trust Pay, let's say, that it only takes a few seconds before that shows up in your eCash. You'll get the information on the bank wire, and then again the Jubi account. Mr. President, the other day, again setting up the Jubi account. My Jubi account was set up, and I went down to Walmart and I got a green dot money pack card. Some of you are familiar with that. Some of you have used that for PayPal. Now there is a limit. I did find this out, Mr. President, of $1,500 in a 24-hour period that you could use with the green dot method. So I actually had gotten a couple of thousand, a couple green dot cards with 1,000 apiece. I was able to do 1,000 then, and then I had to come back and do the other 1,000 like the next day. But as soon as I loaded that up, ladies and gentlemen, again, I refreshed the screen. My funds were sitting in my virtual bank account, the Jubi account, and then I was able to transfer those funds to the company's account, and once again, they were able to see it very quickly on the other side. So, a number of different pay-in methods, and then obviously this is a phenomenal pay-out method because you wouldn't have to deal with all of the fees that it takes to receive from Payza and Solid Trust Pay. All right, you wanted to see what questions might be related to
Absolutely.
the pay-in and pay-out methods? Okay, give us
Absolutely.
just a moment. Mr. President, the way to cover that $12.95, I don't think you can do that with Payza or Solid Trust Pay. That's going to be a credit card, is it not?
It is currently credit card only, and at this time, I don't expect that to change. So I do recommend that to be the fastest way for you to get your Jubi account.
Of course, credit or debit card. All right, credit or debit card for the $12.95 activation there. Okay. Jim says he thinks there's. Jim, I'm not sure when you say you think there's 2 states it won't work in. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean 2 states that maybe don't have a money dot? Maybe that's what you're talking about. This is a Visa, powered by Visa, so this is going to work really across the globe. Now, it might be easier to do like the money dot in certain areas, maybe like the U.S. or what have you. I don't know how readily that's going to be available in other countries. There's other ways to load funds using this particular account, but we're still learning all of those things, okay? So not really prepared to say anything more than the money dot. I know when you get your actual card sent to you in the mail, you'll be able to go to the Visa Ready link. You'll be able to go to MoneyGram with the physical card and load from there. Again, there's some other options. There's an ACH option. Don't know enough to be able to share with the field on how to use that just yet. But this is the Jubi account to go along with those other options. Let's see what else we have. Someone, Mr. President, Khalil, what part of the world are you from? I'd be interested in knowing. Khalil said that he opened up his Jubi account today with $12.95. And he says it was lightning fast, so maybe he's already gotten access to his. Thank you, Khalil. He's from Canada. I appreciate that.
And I'm glad that that happened really quick for him. I do want to caution everyone to have the right expectation. I understand that this can take 24 to 72 hours to get set up. So that's why we're encouraging folks to, once you get started, go ahead and pay the $12.95 to get your Jubi account so that you have it ready to receive commissions. For those of you that will be using it as your best method to, to fund your account, to purchase product packages, that will be there for you. But again, folks, please, I just want to encourage caution and patience. It's going to take 24 to 72 hours for this to come through.
Okay. Vicki asks a very good question. She says, how do you know when you have access to your account? Right now, Mr. President, from what I've seen, you log back here and you come back under your Jubi account. Again, you go to My Account, My Financials, go through the PIN process there, the eCash and Jubi account, and what's going to show once your account is ready is going to show your card number, is going to show a routing number, and all of those good things. So, Vicki, Mr. President, I think that's how that's set up now. There's nothing that's going to email Vicki just yet to say, hey, Vicki, your account is loaded, is it? Or your account is active, is it?
That's a great question, and I'm gonna take a look at that. To my knowledge, right now, no, there is no external email coming from that, but I bet that's something we could probably take a look at. So I'm going to make a note and talk with the tech team tomorrow about that.
Okay, all right. Linda asks another good question, and I think we need to get this to the programming team here. It says, even though the account is in personal names only, now remember, the account's in personal names only, ladies and gentlemen. I know some of you like to do business in business entities. This particular solution does not allow that. There's a couple other solutions that could, maybe perhaps all of my disclaimers come aboard down the road that could allow that, but not this particular solution. Right now, you need to use your social, all right, as opposed to a tax ID number tied to a business. Going to use your social. Mr. President, we need to make sure that the programmers take that EIN part off.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great question. Are there zero fees to use the Jubi card, or just very low as compared to Payza and STP? All of your fees you're going to see your fees over here. It's going to be a monthly fee of $6.95 that's going to be billed to the card. No one's going to send you a bill in the mail. Now, if you go a month or two and you haven't used it, then that's just going to accrue. And so when you load funds by virtue of loading funds into the card, or you receive commissions out from the card, then it's going to go on and deduct that $6.95. And if it's been over a couple of months, it'll deduct that times, let's say, 2. I believe you have a 90-day window. And I believe I'm right in saying this. If you haven't used it in 90 days, then essentially your card is placed in an inactive status. Now, the huge advantage of you and I using it as promoters as a commission receipt vehicle is you're not going to have to pay those, sometimes, what is it, Mr. President, 2%, 2.5%, sometimes to receive, depending on how you're set up with Solid Trust Pay or Payza.
Could be 3 or 4 by the time you get it, if you're paying for a fee to get it wired out, etc. Whereas with this, you can pull out cash at an ATM. And for a lot of people, especially folks, one of the things you want to remember is that, sometimes we think about the world relative to where we live. And remember that we are, this is a global economic movement. And because you have the ability, folks, to actually get your share on business done all over the world here, that we really are truly a global company. And so for a lot of you, this card can actually act as the fastest, most cost-effective way for you to get receipt of commissions. And maybe this isn't the perfect solution for you. We have others, but remember that your team and a lot of our team are coming in. I think just on this webinar alone, I lost count at like 40 or 50 different countries represented just here tonight, T. Lamont. So again, folks, remember Jubi Rev, Jubi Max is not just in your locale. We are a global economic movement, and so this is a perfect solution for many people. And T. Lamont, just one other quick note for those who are doing business in just their business name. We have other methods here available, but this may be a method that is excellent for your team and many of your team in other areas of the world.
President Bice, well, I don't know. There's a great question over on this side about our non-U.S. folks. Khalil, I know you're from Canada, my friend. What did you put in the Social Security or EIN field? I mean, Mr. President, do you know the answer to that, or is that something we need to get from programming?
We would need to get it officially from programming, but
okay.
If you change the country right here, it may actually change the requirement
let's
there.
See. Let's see. Let's try that. Let's try. It didn't automatically do that. Okay, so we need to put that on the list too. Okay, so those of you who are asking. Those of you who are asking, what do I do if I am not U.S.? Let's see if Khalil answered. What did Khalil do? All right, Khalil entered his number. I guess it's a Social Security type number out of Canada. Mr. President, if you would do this, if there's something else you wanted to share, let me see if I can get an answer from programming real quickly. I don't know that I can.
Okay, absolutely. Well, here's what we're going to do, folks. Those are some of the bigger announcements that we want to make here tonight. We definitely want to make sure that we do some question and answer here because, again, we are coming out of the gate very, very strong, but we want to be fully ready for our Phase 2 kickoff coming up here this Thursday. So real quick, just to go ahead and keep T. Lamont busy on the other side, folks, let me just ask you a question. How many of you were on last Thursday's presidential address? How many of you were out here joining us? I think we had 3 different live webinars this past Thursday. How many of you were there to join us? If you were, go ahead and type in a Y in the questions box. Just get kind of a good feel there. Wow, looks like we got, well, maybe 60–70%. I got you.
Wow, they keep coming. They keep coming. They keep coming, and they're still
awesome.
Coming.
Well,
by the
here's
way,
what
that answer,
yes.
Mr. President, was most countries have some type of governmental issue ID number.
Okay.
And so what I just got is that they should be able to enter their global, whatever country they're in, whatever their governmental ID issue number is, they should be able to enter there and be able to go and move forward.
It looks like there were the vast majority of people here were on at least one of the calls this past Thursday, but we do have some newcomers. So if we've got just a couple of quick minutes here, T. Lamont, I'd like to give a quick overview of the vision that I have here for us with Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, and then we can wrap this portion of the call up. And I think you mentioned earlier that we may be doing an actual Q&A. Is that correct here after this part of the call?
Well, and I tell you what, we've been doing some of that Q&A, but yeah, we can open it up. I think one thing that we need to make sure we do, I don't know if this is where you're going to head, is make sure we prepare folks from a budget standpoint of the particular monthly subscription options and why you might want to consider one above another, as well as getting started with your inventory.
Let's do that now. Do we have some slideshows to talk that?
Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Give me just a moment, sir. All right, so Mr. President, there's really 2 things that folks are going to want to consider. One is going to be a monthly subscription. And remember when you're seeing this, ladies and gentlemen, that there are multiple ways to get to the ranks. You can either sell your way by having product movement, customers buying enough to get you to certain ranks, or the path of least resistance is you could have a monthly subscription, and that gives you the volume necessary to hit certain ranks. So one of the things that you want to be considering as you're loading funds is covering your monthly subscription, your first monthly subscription. A J director is someone who has either sold their way there or they have a $15 a month subscription. Now, this is important because any Jubi points that you earn while you are a Jade director, those points have an 80-day life cycle. We're not at the point where you're having to place the ad. I saw a couple questions asking about that. We're not at the point where you're having to place an ad each day, though you certainly are free to start getting out your promoter links and start posting that as many places as you possibly can. When we get to the point of the daily revenue being starting to pay out, then we will need to post an ad each day as one of our qualifiers. And so during the pre-launch, we're purchasing packages, one. There's also going to be commissioning, all right, and we're going to be able to start giving the contents or selling the contents or consuming the contents of that package to generate Jubi points. If you're building a referral network and you get referral commissions, you will have the option of cashing out or getting some commissions in your pocket, or setting money aside to cover the next month's subscription, or you'll be able to buy more inventory, give it away, consume it, sell it, so that you generate more Jubi points. So this, what your monthly subscription is going to be, is a very, very key choice that you're making. If you're a Ruby director, multiple ways to get there. You can sell your way there. You can have the $50 a month subscription path of least resistance. Now your Jubi points earned for 85 days versus 80 days. And ladies and gentlemen, those extra 5 days could be huge. And remember, it's not just 1 or 2 points. It's all Jubi points in that cycle, in those 30 days, since your monthly subscription runs a course of 30 days. Your Emerald Director, or your monthly anniversary, I should say, $100 a month subscription, 95 days. Big difference. Big difference. That extra 10 days, that extra 15 days. Big difference. And then Diamond, 105 days. Mr. President, I hope I'm not being too forward. Can I just share what we've shared with our audiences about getting started with this? I hope I won't be too forward. If I am, you just tell me to
go right ahead.
Okay.
Go right ahead,
one of the things that we've been saying, Mr. President, is, well, if you have the resources, don't hurt your family. But if you have the resources and you can get started with a $200 a month subscription, that gives you the biggest bang for your buck. One, because you know that any Jubi point that you earn during your first 30 days will get the 105 days. That's number one. Number two, give me just a moment, and I'm going to go to another slide here. Number two, in terms of overrides, Mr. President, you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck for your overrides. And here's the thing, Mr. President, a lot of folks have been engaged in the pre-registration part of the business, and you just don't know. You have no idea who's paying attention, who's going to be here on Thursday night and load up their funds and purchase packages and monthly subscriptions and what have you. So you really also want to position yourself so that you get your biggest bang for your commission buck. Mr. President, if you were a promoter and you referred me and you decided to go with a Diamond subscription there, you'd be at a 10% commissioning rate. If I came aboard and I purchased a $2,500 worth of inventory, you'd get a 10% commission, or $250. By the way, Mr. President, question. I'm gonna put you on the spot here because I know you want to share some of this and wait to Thursday. So, but now I'm putting you on the spot. One of the founders' incentives. Up to this point, we've been hearing $2,500 is the most that we can purchase in the package. Are you going to lift that just a little bit for the founders' incentive?
Well, yeah, and that's definitely that's part of the big announcement here on Thursday. But it doesn't sound like you're ready to give away the big one yet. So that's why
I'll leave that one.
We'll talk about this one. Yes, there are. Normally, you will be able to make one $2,500 package purchase at a time. And then in the future going forward, once you have gone through the promotion, then you will have the opportunity to repurchase again. But during this very special phase 2 time, for those of you that are founding members, you will have the opportunity to purchase, I believe, as many as 4, up to 10,000, I believe it is. We'll have to look at those final numbers as we come in here on Thursday. But yes, this will be a very special time for those of you who are ready to build very, very big. You'll have this opportunity to do up to, I believe, 10,000. Is that what we talked about, T. Lamont?
I think that was the number that. Yeah, I think that was the number. Now that was just on the instead of having to purchase 2,500 once, give the contents away, then come back and purchase another 2,500. I think what you and the executive team were talking about was allowing for that founders period or a part of that period to purchase 10,000 worth.
Correct.
Giveaway, and then you could pick up the other 2,500s and so on and so forth for folks who had the resources to do so. My point in saying that, Mr. President, is the reason I want folks to consider the diamond is because you have no idea what's going to happen with your personal enrollees, what they may purchase, their personal enrollees, which would be second generation to you, what they may purchase, and there's a 40% difference in what you're getting at a diamond on your second generation as opposed to an emerald on your second generation. That's a 40% pay raise right there, all right? And you just don't know. You just have no idea what volume could flow through that. So consider that. Consider that. Again, the other considerations, just so you can see it again here. 80 days on your jade, 85 days on your ruby, 95 days on your emerald, 105 on your diamond director, plus you get your biggest bang for your override bucks. Again, Mr. President, I hope I'm not being out of line, and if I'm out of line, you feel free to put me back in line. Mr. President, I was with a company where we had a pre-launch, much like what we're seeing here, with a revenue sharing model, and what blew me away is that as people were getting their links out and then folks started upgrading, we saw folks make some tremendous commissions into the thousands, into the tens of thousands. And then what we also saw was a good amount of those folks would take a decent amount, they didn't have to, but a decent amount of what their commissioning happened to be, and they bought more inventory during the pre-launch period, gave the inventory away or sold it or consumed it, generated more points, so that when the daily revenue started, we saw folks starting off with 10, 20, 30, 50,000 or more in points. Mr. President, I believe we could have folks on the cusp of, if they follow that suit and they really work to get their teams upgraded and they earn some commissions and they take some of those commissions and buy more inventory and give away, I believe we could have some folks getting close to 100,000 Jubi points or more by the time the daily revenue starts. And that, Mr. President, would be phenomenal.
It will be phenomenal. In fact, earlier I talked about how, this Thursday was going to be a big announcement that I had the privilege to make here tonight. I was really excited about that. And you remember when I told you, I kind of alluded to the fact that I had some even bigger announcements coming up here in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Well,
yes,
T. Lamont, that's exactly what I already know is happening. We have leaders in here right now that have hundreds, even thousands of people that are already joining, and we have Joe and Susie Average who are out there bringing in 5, 10, 15, 20 people, just sharing it. And like you say, T. Lamont, Joe and Susie Average, they have no idea what the person is that they've just shared the Jubi Rev, Jubi Max movement with is going to do. They have no idea.
Right.
And again, it's what they're going to do and do and do and do So it's very important that folks look to position themselves and move through the ranks through every means that they have available to them, either starting where you're comfortable financially, where you can do so without hurting your family financially, or just moving through the ranks from a sales perspective. Either way, it's very, very important. And notice you actually have another note here on the screen, here on the whiteboard, we should talk a little bit about.
Yes, sir. I know that there's going to be quite a few folks, Mr. President, that are going to want to utilize Solid Trust Pay or utilize Payza as a load-in source of funds to get into their e-wallet. One thing that we need to be mindful of is that the receiver is the one that is charged to receive the funds, typically in about the 3% or so range. Now, so if you sent in, Mr. President, let's say if a person sent in $100 to load up their eCash with their anticipation of getting a monthly subscription and purchasing, you know, inventory, so on and so forth, the company does not receive $100. The company might receive $97 as an example. So whatever the company receives is what is going to be loaded in your eCash. Whatever the company receives, net of whatever the fees were, is what is going to be loaded in your eCash. The company's not going to eat those fees, and when you think about it, Mr. President, I don't want the company to eat those fees, because if the company's eating those fees, then that also means the company is generating less real revenues and profits, and that's going to show up in my daily rewards once we get to the daily revenue sharing. So I don't want the company eating the fees of tens of thousands of folks making purchases through Payza or Solid Trust Pay. I'll cover my own fee, Mr. President. John, Susie, Mary, they'll cover their own fees so that the company receives those funds without having to worry about those fees, and when we get to the daily revenue sharing, that shows up in our daily rewards. So simply, Mr. President, if you want $100 to be loaded, or $1,000 to be loaded, or $10,000 to be loaded, just simply pull out your calculator, ladies and gentlemen. I've got one here somewhere. Simply pull out your calculator and just take the amount that you want to have loaded, let's say 1,000, and if you multiply that times 1.03, that will tell you, well, you want to actually send in $1,030 as an example. Okay, that means that you should have at least 1,000 hitting your eCash. Might be a little bit more. It may not have been exactly 3%, but the company is going to credit your eCash with the amount that they received net of the fees. Again, that calculation is you take your desired load amount, multiply it times 1.03. 1.03. What that basically does is that adds 3% to the amount that you desire to have loaded in your account. And that will cover that. In that example, that $1,030 would then have at least $1,000, maybe a little extra if the fees weren't as high, in your system. And to be honest with you, Mr. President, it really wouldn't hurt you if you wanted to load up with an extra amount, maybe an extra 50, maybe an extra 100, or what have you, if you have the resources, whether that is to be there for more inventory packages. Oh, Mr. President, there's also a pay it forward. Did you see that, sir?
You know, you were telling me about that. Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, there is a pay it forward option as you go under your financials. Oh, I just got kicked out. Jubi. Give me a moment. We'll be right back in just a moment. Bear with me. Okay, so once again, we went under my account, my financials, pause out in here, put a pin number here. Oops. Come back here under eCash. And there's even going to be a pay it forward option. So some of you that may choose to load up funds with more than what you need because maybe you want to pay it forward. You want to help pay someone's monthly subscription, or you want to purchase some inventory. Do we need to cover the inventory packages? Is that something that's still, is that ready to go, or is that something that we're going to leave for Monday? I'm sorry, for Thursday.
Let's leave that for Thursday.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Anything else, Mr. President, you can think of before we go back to a few questions and answers?
No, just a few more points, folks. This past Thursday, I charged everyone who had the opportunity to join us for our live first presidential address to go out and really do a couple of things. Number one, to make the decision to be all in. And that was a great call. A lot of people said, you know what, this is it, Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, I'm going to be part of the movement. I'm going to make sure that I get my share. And they made the decision that they're going to be all in. And number two, I told everyone, T. Lamont, to take action and begin to share your affiliate link. A lot of you are excited, but I'm not sure that you know exactly what you have, folks. You are truly and finally at the right place at the right time. But you want to begin to take some action to put everything in your favor, folks, so that you do truly get your share. And what you want to do to be able to do that is to get your affiliate link from the back office, your Jubi Rev, Jubi Max affiliate link, and you want to start sharing it. And you say, well, I don't have a lot of people to share it with. That's okay. You want to think about anybody in network marketing or affiliate marketing who has tried to get you into their business in the past, maybe people you've actually done business with in the past, upline, downline, crossline, sideline, people that you've worked with before, friends, family, the mailman, the UPS man. You want to have the opportunity right now to get the word out to as many people as you possibly can. That's very, very important. And I challenged everyone, T. Lamont, this past Thursday to go out and to do that. And the numbers have been through the roof. Everyone's done a fantastic job. Well, don't miss your share, folks. Keep getting the word out. Be creative. Think through who else you might not have thought to get that out to, and make sure that you share. The third thing I told everyone is to make sure that you plug in and participate in all companies' events and functions, and to lead by example. And that's what brings me to my next quick point here, T. Lamont. And that is, folks, that all of you out here tonight have people on your team who are already there, and you're probably thinking to yourself, you know, they're already there, they're getting the company update emails, everything will be okay. No, here's what you want to do. You want to get proactive. Success will come to you if you're coming towards success, folks. You want to pick up the phone, pick up the email, get out to these people and say, I'm so excited that you're in. Did you just hear the most recent call with Jay Joshua and T. Lamont? If not, it was amazing, and there's going to be a huge set of announcements coming this Thursday, one at noon Eastern Standard Time, one at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as they actually have the official kickoff party for phase 2. You've got to be on there. So folks, with that said, T. Lamont, let's go ahead and get a link up here. Where would people go right now if they want to make sure they're registered for one of those 2 kickoff phase 2 calls this Thursday, and where would they send their team to go out and get registered?
All right. The 12 p.m. Eastern call is going to be right back here on this particular webinar. Now, Mr. President, we have to right now, this webinar is set to air again next Monday, so it's just a couple of clicks of a mouse, which will get done before our head hits the pillow for programming tonight. So by tomorrow morning, when folks go to this particular link, they can the folks that are on tonight's webinar will already be registered for this coming Thursday at 12. For those of you that have folks that are not on tonight's webinar, if you send them to JubiRevTraining.com, JubiRevTraining.com. Mr. President, we just need a couple clicks of a mouse to schedule this coming Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll get that done to programming, so that should be done first thing in the morning. The 9 p.m. Eastern is our regular Jubi Rev webinar, which is where we do an income opportunity presentation. And Mr. President, we'll probably do like we did last week. We did a quick 10-minute, like a sizzle overview, if you will, and then we had you to come on and do your address. So this way, if people are still promoting that particular link, maybe out there in cyberspace, we want to make sure that we're congruent with that, but then they can come to JubiRevWebinar.com for the 9 p.m. Many people already registered for that one already as well. If you're not sure, just go there tonight and you can register. For that. Mr. President, one thing that we did not list here were not necessarily the contents of the packages, but the amounts for budgetary reasons that people could consider.
Okay.
And I just got a text from programming who happens to be on telling us maybe something that we overlooked. So thanks, programming. Appreciate that. There's going to be a $100 package, a $250. These are in U.S. dollar terms, $500, $1,000, and $2,500. And Mr. President, I know for those that may be in different countries where there's currency exchange, so $100 US, I know when I was recently in Guatemala, would have been like $700 in Guatemala. So for those that maybe are in situations like that, there still will be able to purchase inventory. It's just that purchasing these inventory packages give you a bigger bang for your buck. So for instance, if someone doesn't quite have the $100 US for whatever reason, but they still want to get some Jubi bucks that they can give away to generate some Jubi points, it'll be $1 US for 1 Jubi buck. You just get a bigger bang for your buck overall if you go with one of the packages. So purchase as large of a package as your resources allow. Don't hurt your family. Raise your right hand and agree that you're not going to charge your credit card to the hilt and all that good stuff. And remember that you can actually, for a very limited time, if you have the wherewithal and you want to load up more than $2,500, you can do so. Back to you, Mr. President.
No, I think that's it, and I just want to confirm that the noon link will be available probably tomorrow morning sometime for folks to actually send out to their team. But the 9 p.m. one, that one is ready now for folks to actually register for, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's say the noon link will be available no later than 9 a.m. Eastern. The noon link, and it will be in your calendar, ladies and gentlemen, no later than 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. And the Jubi Rev webinar, the 9 p.m. link, is already ready. So that's already done.
So Tilamont, let's open up and see if there's some questions out there that we can answer.
Okay.
And,
Deb is asking, when you log in on Thursday, will you be able to see your referrals? Deb, you can actually see your referrals now, young lady, when you go into your back office. All right, and this has been showing for quite some time now. When you go to your back office, Deb, click on where it says My Jubi Team. Click on where it says My Jubi Team. Now, I'm at a training account, so I'm not going to see anything here. What you're going to see when you click on that, Deb, you're going to see the username, first name, last name, email address, and phone number of your personally enrolled. So this is a really good time, leaders, for you to start going through your personally enrolled and start letting them know. Maybe they weren't on tonight's webinar, emailing them, calling them, messaging them, however you communicate with them to let them know Thursday is the official start of our pre-launch. We can purchase packages. Remember, that's going to impact your bottom line should they upgrade and purchase their packages. The other thing, Deb, you can do is you can click where it says Generations, so that you can then see more of the net impact of your entire organization. You may have personally enrolled Martha, and when you see her name here, you'll see, wow, Martha's enrolled 10, 20, 2, 17, but then you'll also be able to see how large Martha's organization is. Mr. President, I'll give you a good example. I was going through, this is a test position, but I was going through my actual back office, and you know, we had some folks that have done some phenomenal personal activity. Some folks have personally enrolled over 100 or 200 or 300. And I scrolled over a gentleman that had enrolled at the time 22. Now I could see on my Jubi team, because I personally enrolled him, I could see that he had enrolled 22. I could hover over and see that he had enrolled 22. But when the generations came about and I scrolled over him, I was able to see the net impact of his entire organization. Mr. President, he personally enrolled 22. At the time that I scrolled over him, he had over 2,700 pre-enrollees in his organization. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, give me a moment. Mr. President, if someone, let's say Thursday comes and I personally enrolled Jim. Jim makes a purchase. He gets, you know, maybe he already has STP. He already has Pays up and running. He's able to make a purchase, you know, right away. Load up, make a purchase right away. I'm still getting ready to get my purchase up and running. Am I going to lose any commissioning?
No, you are not going to, and this is very important. For the month of March, as we are in phase 2, you're going to have a little bit of time to get your account in order. Now, I can tell you this, you don't want to miss anything, so you don't want to purposefully wait, but we're going to give several week window for people to get their accounts loaded, get everything in, and so you're not going to miss anything. But I can tell you this, T. Lamont, there is a very strong reason, which we're going to talk about on Thursday, for folks to make sure they get their house in order on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, this weekend as soon as possible, especially for some of those very limited founding members, bonuses and things that we're doing there. So you're not going to want to delay, but I can also say that no, you will not lose anything because we've got that worked out for you.
Okay. Mr. President, I don't know that we're ready to give any hard dates just yet, but can you give us maybe a target window? We're doing the pre-launch, going from the pre-registration to the pre-launch. How long might that pre-launch be? When might we start to see daily revenues? Are we ready to share that, or do we need time on that?
Here's what we're going to do. Join us on Thursday, and you're going to get a really nice macro view of the timeline. I can tell you this, folks, that there are so many things that are ready for us right now that we could almost have the Thursday call right now today. We're going to wait just a few more days, make sure that everything is running smooth, but you're going to want to make sure, folks, that you do not miss the Thursday call.
Okay. All right, so Thursday, so you get a better idea of the timeline for the daily revenue, which up to this point, we've called that the soft launch. We've called pre-registration, that stage that we've been in that we're about to transition out of, pre-launch, when we can purchase packages and we can start giving away the contents of those packages to start generating Jubi points. Soft launch is what we've called when the daily revenue will start. So come on Thursday to get a better sense of that timeline. Give me just a moment. Olson is asking, if I choose not to use Payza or STP, I want to use the Jubi account. Can I load funds into the Jubi account with your debit card, or my debit card or my credit card? The answer to that, Olson, unfortunately, is no, sir. You can't use your debit card or credit card to load funds into the Jubi account. Right now, you can use, I'm not sure what part of the world you're in, Olson, but you can use MoneyDot. You know, if you have a Walmart near you, you can go right down to a local Walmart, for instance, and get a MoneyDot. Please be mindful if you use MoneyDot, which is just a little card you get at like the Money Center, and they charge you a little bit to load it. The other day, Mr. President, I think they charged me $4.64 to load a card. I could load up to $1,000 on the card that I loaded. So $1,000, I paid $4.64. I came back home. I went to my my system, loaded those funds, refreshed my screen in a couple seconds. My funds were sitting there. But just be mindful, $1,000 per card, at least where I am, and I was limited to loading $1,500 via MoneyDot in a 24-hour period. Now, there are other loading options related to the Jubi account. Again, we're still learning that process. So as we have a better handle on other ways to load, I know, Olson, when you get your physical card, which in the U.S. could be anywhere from 7 to 14 business days, outside the U.S. could be 14 to 21 business days, you'll be able to take your physical card to a MoneyGram location and load there. You'll be able to take your physical card to, I think, even Western Union, Visa ReadyLink, and load there. There's going to be an ACH option. There might be an additional fee tied to that. Some of your banks, some of your bigger banks, may allow you to load or to put funds from your checking account or savings account onto a prepaid card. Check with your online banking to see if your bank allows that. Mine did not, but some banks do, in which case you can load that way as well. So there's going to be a number of different loading options. We're still getting familiar with the Jubi account, okay? Robert, thank you for, I forgot what I called it. I called it Money Dot, Green Dot, or what have you. Robert is saying it's Green Dot Money Pack. Thank you, Robert. You're absolutely right. Green Dot Money Pack, okay? Give me a moment here. Well, I'm trying to get these in the order, Mr. President. That's difficult because a lot of questions are coming up here. Mr. President, is the company going to allow people to make purchases for packages with money order?
Yes, we will.
Okay. But that's not something that we really want people as a primary source. That's kind of like secondary.
Well, if, and again, there's going to be people joining here from a lot of different areas and a lot of different circumstances. So, if there's a way that we can integrate into our system to allow that to be an option, we're certainly going to do it. You are correct, T. Lamont, that many of the other options are going to absolutely work faster and a little bit, smoother. But for those of you that do need that, we're going to make that available.
Mr. President, I was just got a text and programming was saying, please don't do that, Mr. President. They think that's going to be a nightmare. So can we hold off on that to Thursday? I'll put you on the spot. Can we hold off on
that to
Thursday?
Okay. Yeah, let's put that decision off till Thursday, and then if anyone is in that circumstance, just send in a support ticket, and we'll let our support team give them specific information on options. Okay. I can call them if need be.
Okay. All right. Question: Can free associates, free affiliates, a person's not upgraded, hasn't made a purchase, can they make money? And the answer to that is yes, but on a limited basis. A free person who does not have enough sales activity to be considered a J director is not going to, for instance, be able to earn in the daily rewards once we're at to the point that we have daily revenue. A free associate is not going to get the same type of commission. So they may refer someone, and that person may purchase a package, and they could get commissions, but they're not going to earn as much commissions as a person that would have been upgraded and so on and so forth. So the answer to your question, I believe it's Cynthia, is yes, free affiliates can earn. They just won't earn as much as someone doing the same activity that happened to be upgraded by virtue of either their purchase through volume or their sales activity that generated the volume necessary to hit the various ranks. Okay. Give me just a moment here. Can you load directly from you? Can you load? Steve is asking, can you load directly from a U.S. bank account instead of STP or Payza? Steve, if you're asking if you can load your Jubi account directly from your checking account, the answer to that is yes. I think there might, depending on how you do it, if you're banking, if you're online banking allows you to send funds to a prepaid card, then I don't believe there's any fee associated with that. However, if you're sending an ACH, I believe Visa charges a fee that is not in Jubi Rev, Jubi Max's control. Got to get a little more clarity on what that fee would be, but I know the ACH is there, but it may be a, not may, I know there is a fee. I just have to find out exactly what that fee is and communicate that to you. So that's the answer there. Let me see. Mr. President, we've got a ton of questions here. How much longer do you want to go, my friend? Mr. President, do we still have you, or did we lose you?
No, I'm here. We can do another 5 or 10 minutes, but whatever you need.
All right.
Let's make sure we take care of it.
All right. I'll take it. We'll take it to the bottom of the hour. We're taking another 10 minutes here. Mr. President, on the meet and greet, let's put this back up here so everyone can see this again. On the meet and greet, will the information shared on Wednesday, March the 6th, essentially be the same information that's going to be shared on Thursday, March the 7th?
Absolutely.
And just be mindful that obviously there might be different groups of folks. So if there's like Q&A, people asking questions, there might be some questions that come up in one session that may not come up in another session. But the overall information and the ability to capture our president's spirit, look him in the eye, shake his hand, will be there on both sessions. Okay? Let's see here. Give me a moment. This is a great question. Someone says, if my resources are limited, what's better for me to consider? Great question. If my resources are limited, what's better for me to purchase a large monthly subscription? Well, I won't say large, but to purchase as high of a monthly subscription as I can, or more inventory? That's a great question. And I think it really boils down to whether or not you are actively engaged in building a referral network. And if that referral network, if we can get them engaged. This is a lot of what we're going to be doing between now, as promoters, between now and Thursday. We want to get our personally enrolled engaged, get their personally enrolled engaged, get their personally enrolled engaged, ready to go on and load funds. Of course, you can go on and register for your Jubi account now. Go on and start getting ready to load funds, getting ready to make purchases when that is available. Now, what I would say here, Mr. President, is if I haven't started really building a large referral network, or maybe I haven't even begun to build a large referral network, and I'm building on a budget here, then I would opt for a maybe a smaller subscription and as much inventory as I can purchase, because I may not get a lot of commissions right now because I haven't really begun to build a team. However, if I were, maybe my financial resources are a little lacking right now, but I'm starting to build my referral network and I can look and see in my generations that we've got a large team, then I would probably look at as high of a monthly subscription as I could afford out of the gate. And then prayerfully, that gives you a higher commissioning rate. And prayerfully, you start to see some folks upgrading purchasing packages so that you generate more commissions, and then you can take some or all of those commissions and buy inventory or more inventory so that you can give that inventory away or sell it or consume it to generate more Jubi points. So this is what I would have you to consider. What camp are you in? I'm building with a budget. I don't have a large team, or I haven't even begun to start getting out my link, so maybe you're going with a smaller subscription so that you can have more inventory to give away to generate more Jubi points, or you're building, you're that guy that personally enrolled 22, and all of a sudden you've got a few hundred folks, maybe a few thousand folks on your team. I'm telling you, hey, you want to look at that subscription. Gives you the bigger bang for your buck, because that could allow you to earn more commissions in that first 30-day period. Then you've got all these points potentially that are earning for a longer period of time. Okay? Great question. Great strategic question there. Okay. Bear with me. Will we be able to transfer money? Will we be able to transfer money from our eCash to another? I know what programming told me. Can I answer that one, Mr. President?
Absolutely.
No, you're not going to be able to transfer eCash from one promoter to another. That opens up a potential can of worms where, you know, if someone happens to hack into someone's account, or someone is trying to do stuff with money that they shouldn't be doing with, you know, that could cause some issues. What you will be able to do, instead of transferring eCash, what's the point in most cases of transferring eCash? Well, maybe to help someone pay a monthly subscription, pay it forward. Help someone buy some more inventory, pay it forward. So that's why there is the pay it forward option in the back office. So instead of transferring eCash from myself to, let's say, someone on my team, what I will be able to do is say, hey, Lancelot, hey, Larry, hey, Leah, I'll help cover your monthly subscription and just need your username, and then I can transfer eCash to cover a monthly subscription on their behalf, or transfer or use eCash to help purchase some inventory on their behalf, and that cuts down a lot on some of the security measures and some things that could be problematic down the road. Great question, though. Great question. Mr. President, I see we've got 4 more minutes here.
All right.
Okay. We can. Someone is asking about whether or not there are going to be third-party sources that the company will be able to recommend for those that want to purchase customer registrations for the purposes of having people register so you can give away inventory, whether there's samples or Jubi Bucks or Jubi Resort cards. The company, ladies and gentlemen, cannot endorse any specific service along those lines. Jim, I know who your leaders are. I know that they probably have some sources, but from a company standpoint, the company can't endorse any particular source. For those of you that, many of you have such phenomenal leaders, connect with your leaders and see if they already have maybe some third-party sources that will help you. I know there's some groups that are doing some co-ops, Mr. President, to generate real customers, not just fake registered customers that don't end up buying anything because they don't even know what they've registered for, but real customers. Again, the company cannot endorse any specific ones. But, Jim, I know who your enroller is, so check with your enroller. I'm sure they probably have something that they can share with you, okay? Can you use Money Dot or Green Dot? Someone asked, can you use Money Dot or Green Dot to load up to $1,000 from a debit card? Vicky, I'm almost sure that you can use a debit card. Let's say if you went into a facility like a Walmart or Walgreens that has the Green Dot Money Pack, I'm pretty sure that you can use your debit card to cover that $1,000 load. So for those of you that want to use like a debit card or what have you, instead of taking cash down there, I'm pretty sure, because that's processed just like it was, you know, cash, all right? So you should have no problem loading Money Dot, did I say that right, or Green Dot Money Pack with a debit card, then coming back to your system and being able to load that Green Dot Money Pack into your system so it winds up being in your eCash, okay? Mr. President, I don't know if with such short notice, if we have the capacity to do this. Someone is asking, is there any possibility that either the March 6th or the March 7th event could be streamed out or webcast? I don't know if we have, if that's too short notice to set all that up or not.
You know, that's a great question. I'm going to ask my programming team about. We may actually be able to do some quick recordings of people who are coming out, kind of sharing how the event was, that type of thing. We'll just have to see what we can put together. It's coming up here 7 or 8 days, so that is short notice, but it's a great idea. We'll see how we do.
Okay, very good. And let's get one more in here. Give me just a moment. Mr. President, I think this is a very simple question. Someone, I'm not sure exactly what part of the world they're in. They're going to be moving to another country, looks like the Philippines. Once they move, or I guess this would be for anyone, if you stayed in the same country but you moved, once you move, is it as simple as going into the back office and making modifications, perhaps if you're going from country to country or what have you, maybe doing that with support? It would seem to be as simple as modifying your editing your profile. Would it be that simple, sir?
You know, I think that's one of those questions where I'm going to give a great answer and say we want to put in a support ticket. Because that's definitely one for my legal team and my programming team to answer.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Mr. President, there's still quite a few questions here, and this always happens anytime we do a Q&A. We get through as many as we can. But if we get to stay at all of them, then that's going to just generate more questions, and we could be here to another 2 or 3 hours. So, Mr. President, I'll give it over to you to give us some last instructions here, sir.
All right. Well, we've been here for about 90 minutes here tonight, and as we have seen week after week here in the Jubi Rev, Jubi Max movement, folks are all in. They're here, and I think actually at one point at about 20 minutes ago, we were actually still going up in attendance, which is just ridiculous. I mean, we've been here for an hour and a half, and people are still bringing on friends and team members, and people are getting off work, and they're coming in. So here's just some quick final thoughts, folks. And I know it's late at night for some of you, and for some of you it's very early in the morning, so I'm going to do my very best to keep this brief. But we have something really special that we've all created here with the Jubi Rev, Jubi Max movement. This, for many of you, is absolutely, without a doubt, the very first time in your life that you've ever truly been at the right place at the right time. And so we have this moment right here together to go forth and through service for all of us to participate. I don't want to do our whole thing here tonight, T. Lamont, because I know folks are rearing to get out of here. But I just want to say this, that when the right products and services come together with the right compensation plan, the right leadership, and this is it, the right timing, big things happen. And for all of you, that's where you are, right here, right now, finally at the right place at the right time. And this is your moment to get your share. So the 3 things we talked about earlier, they remain the same. Number 1, folks, make the decision that you're all in. Make the decision that this is your path, that you're going to go to ground and do what it takes to do 110% of what's possible, to dream bigger, to take bigger actions, and ultimately we all live bigger together. So make that decision to be all in. Number 2, take action. A great opportunity without great action is a missed opportunity and a lifetime of regret. And I don't want any of you to face that. I don't want any of you to look back and say, oh man, I was right there. This is it right now, not 2 months from now, not 3 months from now, not next year, right here, right now. Stay up a few more minutes, send out a few more emails. Tomorrow I want you to talk to a few more people. I want you to get the word out, folks. It's about action, action. And then number 3, plug in, participate, lead by example. We have a big event coming up, our kickoff for phase 2. I want all of you out here. I want all of you to get your team out here, because this is what you've all been waiting for. And you know what I said last Thursday, and it's more true every day, folks, If you love what you see, if you're happy with the Jubi Rev, Jubi Max movement, I want you to type in a Y right now. I want to just blow up the little questions box there. T. Lamont's never going to get through them now. I just want you to type in a Y. Just say, that's it. Just Y. I'm all in. This is it. This is what we're going to go do. And here's my final thoughts, folks. I'm glad you're here. Ride the wave. It's time for you to get your share. You ain't seen nothing yet. So, folks, with that said, I'll look forward to seeing each and every one of you and all of your team on this Thursday's calls. Don't forget noon Eastern Standard Time as well as 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those of you that are making flight arrangements right now, you make sure don't forget to send in the support ticket. Let us know to expect you, because this next week, Wednesday and Thursday, the 6th and 7th, are going to be epic. There's going to be an opportunity for many of you leaders and soon-to-be leaders to begin to create your story. So with that, T. Lamont, I'm going to go ahead and close out tonight's webinar with just one final thought. And I share this on many of my webinars, but I share it every day with the people around me. And I don't think you can hear it enough, because it is so true. Successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. So folks, just take that little extra action, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And together, we're going to help everybody get their share. So with that, T. Lamont, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard all the great announcements. You can go and with your Jubi account, that you can go in and start getting that set up now. Be ready for Thursday, so that you can then load up with either STP or Payza. Get your teams out there on Thursday, and on both Thursday webinars, we'll open up the webinars about 30 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes prior, to make sure that everyone can get a seat. We have about 1,000 seats there. We'll also have in your calendar, your calendar will actually have call-in numbers for various countries in the event that we fill up on the webinar. Mr. President, thank you so much. Ayabuli Moore, thank you so much for your role. All the great leaders on the other side, thank you so much for sharing the word and sharing this amazing, amazing message. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a company, it's a movement. Good night, everyone.